everything is neutral. Literally, everything is neutral. Nature is neutral. But unfortunately, we give meaning to things that activate us because we involve our conditioning, including our 6 higher faculties. And when you have this combination, we create something, a situation that's happened outside of us. We make it into something that it is or may not be, but because we're dealing with the workings of the conscious and subconscious mind and our programming, then of course we give meaning to something that from the beginning is neutral. Let me explain. All right, and I'll give an example in this today. So if I introduce you again to the stick person, I mean, this will make you millions when you understand the stick person. This will create order in your mind right now, because what I'm doing is I'm giving you a picture of your mind. So the mind is in every cell of the body, right? But let's just create order right now in your mind by saying this is your mind, this is your body. These antennas are your 5 senses. This is your conscious mind. This is the subconscious mind. And the conscious mind is where you will find your higher faculties or your mental faculties. And these are your imagination, your will, your reason, your memory, your intuition, and there's one more, perception. All right? These all sit in your conscious mind. People think intuition's inside the subconscious mind. It's not. It's inside the conscious mind. So what happens is something happens outside. A situation happens and it's neutral. Remember, everything is neutral. Okay, you look at nature, right? Nature doesn't fuss, right? Nature's not arguing with other trees, or the birds are not fighting it with each other. Nature does what nature does. It's very neutral. I mean, when it's a storm, it goes with the flow. When there's sunshine, it goes with the flow. When it's snowing, it goes with the flow. It is just neutral all the time, okay? So what happens is, for humans, it's different. Something happens outside that activates you. You might have a driver that tries to cut you off, right? And an irresponsible driver. And what happens is the 5 senses see this driver behaving inappropriately. So the 5 senses, remember, are your receiving stations, right? So they pick up, oh, that driver, look how crazy that driver is. And what happens is your perception, which is in your conscious mind, starts to talk to your memory, which is inside your conscious mind. And the reason is also the way you think about things, the reason. Suddenly they're all talking to each other, because they do work all together with one another, starts to talk to each other. And then often your perception will go down to your conditioning, and your programming or paradigm is within the subconscious mind. This is actually what you've been programmed with, about irresponsible drivers. So your perception, check with your memory. I've been part of bad drivers before, and it'll go down to your paradigm, which will then look at, well, what did mum and dad say about irresponsible drivers? Okay, oh, I remember them saying they're bloody idiots, they're fools, whatever. And so you start to react to this irresponsible driver. You start to react the way you were programmed to react. You may speed up and try to cut the driver off. You may hoot your horn. You may roll down your window. If you stop at the traffic light and shout some profanities out to the irresponsible driver. But the way you react is actually coming from the programming of how you were programmed to react according to what mum and dad programmed you with, or maybe on the TV. I know here in Australia, we were all programmed and it truly was an advertisement here that went on for year after year saying, you know, don't speed, you're a bloody idiot. Okay, so this was constantly playing in the background when I was growing up, that you're a bloody idiot if you speed because you are breaking the rules and you are going to lose points. So this all comes from the programming, the conditioning. And yet, this is neutral, right? We make up the story about the person based on the programming involving our higher faculties. And so I want to illustrate this point to you today to remind you that the only reason why we judge all the time is because it comes from the programming. But you can live a glorious life, a phenomenal life, when you understand the workings of the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and your five senses about anything. Okay, when you understand this, then this is what I'm saying, it will make you millions, because you'll stop reacting to the outside world, because our five senses, we've been programmed, this is reality, this is the truth, look at the truth. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can have enough emotional intelligence to not react to what's going on the outside. But this takes a little bit of work. And what this requires is to reprogram this programming, your paradigm, with new ideas about yourself, about life, about various circumstances, about money. When you start to reprogram yourself with different ideas about various subjects, then when something happens on the outside, because hey, we're all humans and life will always be on life terms, but when you can actually say, oh well, that's neutral, and have other ideas pop up like toast, right? When you are activated through your five senses, this puts you in a very powerful place to be in control of your life no matter what. And it supports you to really mind your own business, to continue to stay focused on the solution and where you are going. You don't give your power away so much to the things that are happening in the outside world, because you're constantly focused on what you want and where you're going. Okay, and this is all about mastering your mind. And for those of you who are new to my channel, I'm Tanya Pluckrose, and you know, my mission is to help you master your mind so you can master your life. And so when you learn to discipline your mind, which I've just taught you an idea of how to do it, then the processes outside take care of themselves. But it always begins with you learning how to discipline your mind to think in a certain way about people, places, and things. So today I just want to leave you with my final words, which is just remember everything outside of you is neutral. It's just neutral. But it's the programming that makes up a story about it using our higher faculties that causes all suffering. But we don't need to suffer at all when we just continue. Oh well, that's neutral. Oh well, the sooner you can learn to respond instead of react, oh my God, you watch, your manifestations are going to come in thick and fast, because you're constantly staying in the flow of life rather than resisting life all the time, resisting it. And so leave your comments below. I'd love to hear from you if this is resonating with you, because I love having a bit of a banter. And sometimes I make these videos and I feel like I'm just talking into space. So leave your comments. I would love to get to know you more. And thanks for tuning in.